Hello everyone. So our today's topic of discussion is reading comprehension. So what we'll be doing today is we'll be understanding an easy reading comprehension. So we'll try and understand how do you have to read a passage, what are the things you have to take into consideration while you're reading a passage. There may be some difficult words for which you may not know the meaning, but we need to understand the contextual meaning. So we'll stick to that. And then there are two types of questions that you will be facing. One is the fact based, one is the inference based. So what are the facts we have to keep in mind while we're reading the comprehension? Okay, we also need to understand the tone of the author, the way in which he or she has written the passage, because that's also important. Okay, so we'll read the passage first. We'll try to make notes. We'll try to understand the points, and then we'll move on to the questions. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so it goes something like this: the biggest house of cards, the longest tongue, and of course the tallest man. These are among the thousands of records logged in the famous Guinness Book of Records. Created in 1955 after a debate concerning Europe's fastest game bird, what began as a marketing tool sold to pub landlords to promote Guinness, an Irish drink, became the best selling copyright title of all time, a category that excludes books such as Bible and Quran. In time, the book would sell 120 million copies in over 100 countries, quite a leap from its humble beginning. Okay. Now, first thing when I'm gonna read this, when I have read this passage, the first thing that will come into my mind that this passage or this paragraph is basically giving me an introduction. This paragraph is giving me an introduction, and that introduction is regarding the Guinness Book. Like, how did it come into start? So it basically started after a debate in 1955 concerning the Europe's fastest game boat. Initially, this book was sold as a marketing tool to pub lords to promote Guinness, which is an Irish drink. This was sold to Irish pub lords in order to promote this Irish drink, which turned out to be the best copyright of all time. Which turned out to be the best copyright of all time. A category which does not include Quran and Bible, because Quran and Bibles are not considered as a copyright of someone. And this book also sold over 120 million copies, which is quite more than the humble beginning. Humble beginning is that basically means it had a slow start. It had a slow start, or it was not expected. Another way of putting this up as that it was not expected that this book would sell over 120 million copies. So this paragraph basically gave me a fair introduction about what we'll be talking in the upcoming paragraphs, and they have given us quite a bit of facts. Like, for example, it was sold to promote the Guinness, an Irish drink, and it was the best selling copyright of all time, and it sold over 120 million copies. So this paragraph is basically working as an introduction for us. That's it. Let's move on. In its early years, the book set its sight on satisfying man's innate curiosity about the natural world around him. Now, what do you mean by this term innate? Innate is something that exists from the birth. I'm going to write it from here for you, that innate something means that it exists from the birth. For example, Indians have innate sense of fairness. Indians have Indians have innate sense of fairness. What this basically means is that we are naturally fair. We are naturally fair, that we are not biased. We are naturally fair. So in its early years, book set its sight on satisfying man's innate curiosity about the natural world around him. So initially when the book was launched, or during its initial days, the book was more about the curiosity of the natural world. It was about the natural world. Initially, it was more about the natural world. Its true principal fact finders, twins, Norris and Ross, scout the globe to collect empirical facts. Empirical facts is something that have proofs. Empirical facts, empirical, this word basically stands for something that has proof. So they scout the globe to collect the empirical facts. It was their task to find and document aspects of life that can be sensed or observed, things that can be quantified or measured. Okay, things that can be quantified or measured, not just anything, things which can be quantified or measured, but not just anything. So initially their task was that they will find out things which can be quantified or measured, or something that have empirical facts, not just anything. They were only interested in superlatives, the biggest and the best. They were only interested in superlatives, the biggest and the best. So this second paragraph basically tells me how the journey began. How the journey began. This is what this second paragraph is telling us about. Like, they initially had their sights on the natural world, and the twin finders they scout the globe, and they were more inclined towards empirical facts, or things which can be quantified, or things that can be measured. This is how it all started. Let's move on. In its latest incarnation is, let me give you an example of this. He believed he was a prince in the previous incarnation. So I hope you have got the contextual meaning of this. This is basically, you can say that in the previous birth, basically. It's basically, when you talk about this term incarnation, it's like a period of life or to take on flesh. Like, for example, God is incarnated in the form of a farmer. This is basically what it means. Okay. So as of now, you can like relate this word incarnation to this term birth. So in its latest incarnation, the book has found a new home on the internet. So now the book is on the internet. Initially it was on papers, like the hard copy and the soft copy. Okay. Initially it was the hard copy. Now it has a version of soft copy also. No longer restricted to the confines of physical paper, the Guinness World Record website contains seemingly innumerable facts concerning such topics as the most powerful combustion engine. So it has facts regarding most powerful combustion engine, or the world's longest train, What is striking, however, now very important, because when you use these words such as however, this stands for contrast. What is striking, however, is that such facts. Now, what do you mean by these such facts? These such facts are like these most powerful combustion engine or the world's longest train. So this word such is used for these two facts, or facts similar to these two facts. Okay. What is striking, however, is that such facts are found sharing a page with the record of the heaviest train to be pulled with a beard. While there is no denying that each of these facts has its own individual allure basically means attraction, the latter represents a significant deviation from education-oriented fact. So what they're saying is basically that when this book was talking about the most powerful combustion engine or the world's longest train, they're basically talking about educational facts. And now this book, on the same page itself, if they're also talking about the record of the heaviest train to be pulled with a beard, so this is not an education fact, this is more like an entertainment fact. So what author is saying is, author is saying that on the same page you have both the things. You have something related to education, you have something related to entertainment also. later represent a significant deviation from the education oriented fact of the earlier editions. All right. So he's saying that in the earlier editions, we used to have education oriented facts. We used to have education oriented facts. Now in this one, we also have entertainment oriented facts also. We have entertainment oriented facts also. Perhaps there is a useful knowledge to be gleaned regarding the tensile strength of a beard, but this seems to cater to an audience more interested in seeking entertainment than education. Now, this is a very important line. See, the point is we need to understand the way in which author has written it also. So this, if I ask you like in which tone he or she has written, so you can say that this is more like a sarcasm tone. This is more like a sarcasm. He is not quite happy with the fact that on the same page you have education and entertainment. Like he is not criticizing it, but he doesn't seem to be happy about that fact. He says that there is a useful knowledge to be gleaned regarding the tensile strength of a beard. All right, so he's saying, all right, you can talk about the tensile strength of a beard. So this is the way you write a sarcasm, okay? But this seems to cater to an audience more interested in seeking entertainment than education. So like the crowd or the people who are going to read it, they're more interested in seeking entertainment. Oh, so his beard is too strong, that's why he is able to pull the train. So he's saying from that perspective, so audience are more concerned about, okay, what an extraordinary feat that person has achieved, that he is able to pull a train with the help of his beard. Okay. All right. Originating as a simple bar book. Okay, now wait a minute. This paragraph that we have just read, the third paragraph, this basically tells us regarding the latest upgrade. This tells us regarding the latest upgrade of the book, like what are the changes that have come. And the another thing that we have discussed, that is now apart from the education oriented facts, we now also have entertainment oriented facts. We now also have entertainment oriented facts. Okay, so we need to keep these points in our mind. Like we can't be like, okay, let's read a paragraph, once we're done with it, let's go blank on the first one, now it's time for the second one. No, you have to remember all the things that you're reading. Okay, you have to keep facts in mind, you have to do that. All right. Originating as a simple bar book, the Guinness Book of Records has evolved over decades to provide insight into full spectrum of modern life. Now this book has evolved and now it's providing an insight into a full spectrum of modern life. And although one may be more likely now to learn about the widest human mouth than the highest number of casualties in a single battle or civil war, the Guinness World Record website offers a telling glimpse into the future of fact finding and recordings. So the author has finished off the passage by giving his own conclusion, you may say that, and nothing else is there for us. There are no facts in the last paragraph. He has simply ended the passage, that's it. So we basically started off with a proper introduction of what we have to look forward. Then we spoke about its history, how it all began. Then we moved on to the latest upgrade, how it is available now. And then in the last, that we are looking forward to it because it's going to give you more insight into the modern life and it's going to keep on recording more records. Okay. Now it's time to move on to questions. Let's see what we can do. The first one says, what is the main purpose of the author in writing the passage? Now, what's the main purpose? Now, whenever you get a question, you need to have your mental answer ready. Now, what do you think should be the main purpose of the author in writing the passage? Is it like criticizing the book? Is it like telling us about a book, or like to discuss or to analyze or to criticize? Like what exactly it is? You need to have some things in your mind before you like start going for the options. Like once after reading these four paragraphs, the one thing that I can say is that the main concern of the author is that how the book originated and how it's doing now, or another word is that how it has evolved over the past years. So this is what basically author has discussed. All right, let's go with the options. To discuss the origin of Guinness Book and its evolution over the years, all right, probably can be my answer. So I'm going to keep this one aside. B says to criticize the fact of the Guinness Book. Now, I won't even read this further because of the fact this word criticize. He has never criticized anything in the passage, not even one single thing. He may look a bit sarcastic towards the end of the passage, but criticism is not there. Criticism is a very strong word, and that is nowhere in the entire passage. So, to criticize the fact that the Guinness Book in its current form stresses more on entertainment than on education, no. He did not like that fact, I could sense that, but criticize is a very strong word. We should not be using that. So that's incorrect. That's incorrect. To explain the origin of Guinness Book, now he not only explained the origin of the Guinness Book, he also spoke about the evolution of origin. Sorry, he also spoke about the evolution of Guinness Book. Like, oh, fine, it started with the pen, paper, or with the hard copy based, then it moved on to the soft copy based also. It moved on to the internet also. That was also a change, and it was described properly in the passage. So I feel that this is more like an incomplete option. This is more like an incomplete option. If I had to go between A and C, I would definitely go with A. I would definitely go with A. C seems a bit incomplete to me. D says to analyze what makes the Guinness Book the largest selling book in the world. Now the author never analyzed what makes the Guinness Book the largest selling book. It simply says that it sold over like 120 million copies, and the exact words were, it's the best copyright title of all the time. This is, but it is stated as a fact. That's it. He never analyzed that in the passage. He never analyzed that in the passage, that for what reason this is the best selling copyright of all time. He never analyzed that. So this word here is incorrect. And technically this is not the main purpose also. This is not the main purpose. Main purpose is something that is that can be seen throughout the passage. It's not just one paragraph from where you're going to get your main purpose. Main purpose is something that you see throughout the passage. Okay, so D is also incorrect. The author has nowhere analyzed what makes Guinness Book the largest selling book in the world. That's also incorrect. He says to discuss how the Guinness Book originated and to advocate against. Okay, now he has nowhere advocates against anything. He has nowhere advocate against anything. Leave apart the commercialization of the book in its current form. He has never said that no, you should not commercialize that, or you should not put it on the internet. He never said that. This E is again incorrect. So what we have done, we have basically used the process of elimination that you all would be aware of. So our answer will simply be option number A. So I'm simply using basic strategies, nothing else. I'm using simple basic strategies, nothing else. Okay. All right, let's move on. I have made like couple of points in my mind once I've read the paragraph, and then accordingly I've simply solved the question, nothing else. All right, which of the following is mentioned in the passage as a record contained in the Guinness Book? All right, the world largest combustion engine. Now we have to go back and we have to see the exact word. Largest combustion engine. They said something regarding combustion engine. Let's see where it was. Yeah, it says most powerful. It never said largest combustion engine. It said most powerful. So this world's largest, this is wrong. This is incorrect. This is incorrect. A is incorrect. B says the world's longest train. All right, let's go with the train. Okay, so we have world's longest train, so that is mentioned in the passage, no denying on that part. So B can be correct. Let's move on to option C. Option C says world's heaviest train. World's heaviest train. Now see, in the passage what is mentioned is that the record that is mentioned is regarding the heaviest train to be pulled with a beard. The record is not mentioned regarding the heaviest train, it's regarding the heaviest train to be pulled with a beard. So what they have done is they have changed the option, or they have like manipulated the option so that you get confused. The fact that they have mentioned is the heaviest train to be pulled with a beard. It's not about the heaviest train, it's about the heaviest train to be pulled with a beard. That's why C is incorrect. D says world's widest mouth. All right. Let's see where it was mentioned. And although one may be more likely to learn about, see, this is not mentioned as a fact. This is what author is saying, that one may be more likely to learn about it. One may be more likely to learn about it does not stand that it's given as a fact. It was not presented as a fact. It was not presented as a record in the Guinness Book of Records. Okay. The author is saying that people will be more likely to know this. Okay. So that's why this D is also incorrect. This is also incorrect. E says the world's strongest beard. See, again, it's not about the world's strongest beard. Again, going back to that same line, it's the record of heaviest train to be pulled with a beard. It's the record of the heaviest train to be pulled with a beard. The word strongest beard is never mentioned anywhere. It's not mentioned anywhere. The word strongest beard is not mentioned anywhere. Understand this. Okay, which makes option number E also incorrect. These are like small things which you have to keep in mind. Like very small things which you have to keep in mind. Every word matters. See, that's something that differentiates the quantitative aptitude to the verbal reasoning, or to the verbal part of the exam. In case of verbal, every word matters. In maths, like, it's more about, like, you need to know the formula, you need to know how to solve the question, you need to get your basics clear. That's it. In case of reading comprehension, like, you have read the passage, you know what the passage says, but still you may have to go back. You have to validate your answer. Okay, so B is correct in this case. Let's move on to the next question, that is the third one. According to the author, how is current version of Guinness book differ from its older version in terms of content? We are talking about in terms of content. It's not simply saying that how the two things are different. It's saying that in terms of content. In terms of content. All right. Option A says the book is now available on internet. Now this is not a difference with respect to content. This is not a difference with respect to content. This is a difference with respect to availability. All right. You have a soft copy, you have a hard copy. You have paper bound, you have also things available on internet. This is not a difference in terms of content. This is a difference with respect to availability. That's why A is incorrect. The question is specific in terms of content. Okay. B says the book now contains entertainment oriented facts along with educational one. All right, this can be our answer. So we'll keep this on hold, because initially, if you remember that, initially they were more towards empirical facts and things that had proofs, right? They were more related to natural things and all that. In the later stages, the author spoke regarding the entertainment oriented facts. So this can be our answer. Let's not jump to the conclusion. Let's go with option C. Let's move to option C. The book now offers insight to full spectrum of life. Now, the book was providing insight to full spectrum of life initially also. It was not that it was not providing a full spectrum of life only after it moved to internet. It's not that way. Initially also they were exploring each and everything, like how nature reacts, what are the empirical facts regarding nature. They have mentioned it here. See, innate curiosity about the natural world about him. So they scout the globe to collect the empirical facts. They scout the globe to collect the empirical facts. It was their task to find and document aspect of life that can be sensed or observed. Things can be quantified, that can be measured. They were interested in the biggest in the best. They were interested in biggest in the best. So this basically says is that, yeah, the book was also offering insight into the full spectrum of life before also. It's not that only after it shifted to the online version it started providing us insight on the full spectrum of life. So C is not the option that I'm looking for. D says the focus of the book has shifted from providing education to providing entertainment. This is factually incorrect. This is factually incorrect. It's nowhere mentioned that the focus of the book shifted. Although they included some entertainment facts also, no denying on that part, but the focus never shifted. It's nowhere mentioned. It's nowhere mentioned in the passage. So D is incorrect. He says the Guinness book offers a telling glimpse into the future of fact finding and recording. Now this is not a difference in terms of the content. They were doing this thing before also. This E is again incorrect. So our correct answer is option number B, that book now contains entertainment oriented facts along with the educational ones. So they were not containing any entertainment oriented facts initially. After they switched on to the what we call the soft copy base Guinness book, then they shifted to this entertainment oriented facts along with educational ones. So this is the closest, hence your answer is option number B. Alright guys, so this was more or less everything regarding the first passage that you had to know. I hope I'm able to make you understand some things, like how do you have to read a passage, what are the things you have to keep in mind, and like slowly and gradually once you like start reading different types of passages, start with the easier ones. Slowly and gradually you'll start understanding what the author is trying to saying, what are the different paragraphs. See, whenever you talk about a good passage always has an introduction, it has a body, and then it has a conclusion. No matter what passage, whether you have a passage on general science, whether you have a passage on psychology, philosophy, literature, anything, it's gonna give you a start. It's gonna explain you what they're gonna talk about in the upcoming paragraphs. Then there's going to be a body of paragraphs, and then it's going to be a conclusion. Then you need to understand the way it is written. Like, are they describing, are they simply giving facts? The tone of the author, like is the tone neutral, is the tone positive, is the tone negative? These are the things which you have to keep in mind basically. See, understand it this way: when you speak to someone, you can see their face, you can understand the way in which they are saying this, you can sense their tone, you can understand their face expressions. But when you read a passage, it's simply words. So how you read it and how you interpret it, everything matters on that. So if you want to be good at reading comprehension, you have to read as many passages, as many comprehensions as possible. So try to read articles from newspapers such as The Guardian. You can also take New York Times, The New Yorker, The Economist. Okay, do not read anything related to politics. Read some good passages. Alright, the more you read, the more you understand. That is basically what reading comprehension is all about. Alright then guys, let's keep it till here for this video. In another video we'll be discussing another reading comprehension passage. We'll try to again go from the scratch, like how to read a passage and then how do you solve a question. Just ensure one thing, like see, this is how I learned reading comprehension. I'll be very frank with you. I was not from a verbal background. Okay, I did my engineering, so it was very difficult for me in the start also to read a reading comprehension and try to understand. So what I used to do was that whenever I used to read a paragraph, like a passage basically consists of like 8 to 10 paragraphs, or sometimes like if you have a shorter one, then it's like 4 to 5 paragraphs. This is what usually engineering students faces. This is what I faced. I improved myself, so I'm going to give you the same. So I'm going to give you the same process so that you can also improve yourself. Whenever you read a passage, do one thing: take out a good article from any of the newspapers, any good newspapers. You can like log in also in New Yorker, New York Times, or New Yorker, The Guardian, and all that. Take a hard copy of that, and with every paragraph that you read, on the right or on the left of it, write what did you understand from that. Couple of things, like what the paragraph is talking about, what's the tone of the author, and what's the way in which the paragraph is written. Just do these couple of things like for almost like 35-40 passages, and trust me, you will improve. You have my word on it, because that's how I improved. You will definitely improve, because we engineers basically, we don't have a lot of habit of reading passages. We are more inclined towards like solving maths questions. No denying, I'll try to make as many videos as possible on reading comprehension, but still, like, you have to do the hard work by yourself also. I'll be very frank with you. Okay, nobody can teach you unless and until you are willing to learn. That's the bottom line. Okay, so you have to take in that effort. If you do not find good passes, then let me know. You have my WhatsApp number, you have my email ID, or you can comment here on the YouTube itself. So if you don't find, then I will let you know what are the good reading passages that you should read. Every day read one passage, that's it. Nothing else is required. That will help you with your fill in the blanks. That will basically help you with all types of questions. It's not only for like GMAT, GRE, SAT, CAT, it's like for everything. It's gonna actually improve your communication skills. It's gonna actually help in understanding how to use different words in different scenarios. What's the contextual meaning? How can you use a word? That's really, really very important, trust me. No matter which exam you're appearing for, it's not about how many words you memorize. You cannot memorize all the words, trust me. If you're memorizing 3000 words, the examiner will find 3000 first word for you. It's the contextual meaning which you need to learn. Okay. Alright then guys, thank you so much. So please subscribe to the channel for more videos and exam related content. Please like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have any suggestions to make on how can I improve my videos, please do let me know in the comment box. Thank you so much guys. Keep watching and keep learning.